So I just got on Tumblr asking for writing tips, and I started writing out an answer. They'd also asked for a video, and I was like, these are some good points. I've got time. I'm definitely not making any other videos right now. The holiday videos are being delayed because I'm shit and also lazy. So this is mostly for fanfic writing because that's what I have the most experience in. Tip number 1. Read a lot of good fic. Read it and also review it, and in reviewing it you will not only be doing, a good thing and you'll be showing the author your love, but you'll also, in the process of reviewing it, you will be noticing the things that you like. Try to notice more. Notice, like, okay, so there was something that you really liked the way that this character grew through the course of this fic, or you really liked the interactions, or you really liked the description. Notice those things and, make a note of it and try and figure out how the author did that and how they did it, like the craft of it all. So notice stuff like description, the structure of the dialogue, the progression of the plot, all those sorts of things. 2, this is super basic and hopefully it won't come off as patronizing, but look at a fic, a good fic, or better yet, open a book and notice the way that it's structured in terms of stuff like paragraphs and in terms of stuff like punctuation, and particularly in regards to speech, dialogue. Like, if a new person starts talking, that's a new paragraph. And the way that punctuation interacts with speech marks, that sort of thing. Which sort of leads into 3, formatting is more important than I think people give it credit for. If I open a fic and I see just a wall of text, I'm not going to read it. It doesn't matter how interested I was reading the summary or the tags, I'm not going to read it. Fiddle around with AO3 or whatever medium you're using and figure out how to make paragraphs separate, that sort of thing. Make it look good. Make it look not ugly. 4, show, don't tell. This is like the mantra of every person who's ever been on a creative writing course in their life, I swear. The number of times I have heard show, don't tell. It's overused, but it is important. For example, if a character is feeling something, you want to try and show how they're feeling rather than tell the reader what they're feeling. So stuff like show it in their expression, description, basically. Describe how the emotion shows in their body language, in their interactions with other people, in inflections in their speech, thought patterns in their own head. Rather than say, she felt angry, show that she feels angry. Imagine that you're watching it as a movie and describe what it looks like. And other things like describe a place. Don't get too into it, like don't describe like the floor plan of a place. Trust the reader to make up their own mental picture of it, but try and describe a place using like more than one sense, for example, is helpful. 5, possibly the most important. That's a lie, but one of the most important. Test for realism. For example, I get a lot of compliments on my dialogue, on how realistic it is, and that's because I speak it all. I come up with the dialogue by speaking it to myself, out loud, or just muttering it under my breath. If you've got some dialogue, read it out loud to yourself. Heck, read the whole fic out loud to yourself. It really helps. Think, after writing a scene, how would this play out if this happened in real life? People don't often let others ramble for ages and ages and ages without interrupting them, or without having any reaction at all. And, people often don't make over-emotional speeches or, heartfelt confessions. If a character is doing or saying something extreme, think of people you know and mentally put them in that situation. Would they react the same way? Just think to yourself, like, would real people act this way? This is really off-putting in a lot of fics that have a lot of promise in the plot, but the character interactions come off as silly because people don't speak like that. People don't act like that. 6, if you can, leave your fic for at least a couple of weeks before reading it through, editing it for the final time, and then posting it. That tiny bit of distance, even more if you can manage it, really aids perspective. Like, there are fics that I started years ago that I still haven't posted, even though they're basically finished, that I still haven't posted because they're just not right, and I will read them through again, and sometimes I will redo the entire thing. Some people find little goals helpful. Like, if I'm trying to write to a deadline, whether that's mental or real, that can help with, motivation. Like, try and tell yourself to do stuff like 1,000 words a day or something like that. That's kind of a high goal if you're just starting out. But like, so many words a day, that can help. Or it can be unnecessarily stressful, so like, play around with it. See if it works for you. Stuff like NaNoWriMo? I've never known how to pronounce it. People say NaNoWriMo? And like, that makes sense, because right? But for so long I said in my head NaNoWriMo, and now I can't stop pronouncing it like that. Does anyone else pronounce it like that? Anyway, I've never done NaNoWriMo, I've never done that, but I might at some point. It comes at kind of an awkward time if you're in school, like November, you're just starting the year, it's kind of stressful. Anyway, stuff like that. Big bangs, I've done 2 big bangs, 3 big bangs? 3 big bangs. I've done 3 big bangs, which are kind of like fan fiction, not competitions, but events. So you sign up, you get paired with an artist who will then do fan art for your fic, and you like communicate through the process, and you have a deadline, which is really, really helpful sometimes. Some people also find planning helpful, but some people don't. Some people start out, you know, with no idea where the fic is going to go, and that works for them. That doesn't work for me. I am an obsessive planner. I have everything planned out in bullet points. Sometimes, you know, with scenes, with dialogue even. Having a plan, it makes everything go much faster, because I never have to pause at any given instant being like, shit, what happens next? Because I know what happens next. I've got a plan. If you want, and if it's helpful, and if you can find someone else to read your stuff as well. A beta reader maybe, who can offer you feedback and, you know, proofread it for you, or sometimes someone who is just going to get enthusiastic with you and who's going to cheerlead, and someone who can, you know, bounce ideas with you. That can be really great. If you're low on inspiration, search for prompt posts, especially AU prompt posts. They're really, really good. Just like consuming media generally, like a lot of my fics are based off other stories or other universes or movies or whatever. I can't do with the counting. Never ever say that you're bad at summaries. It's off-putting and it comes off as kind of amateurish. That sounds really harsh, but it's kind of true. Even if you are bad at summaries, don't admit it. Also, in that vein, like, don't say at the end of the fic, don't like beat yourself up in any way. Ask for feedback, sure, ask for love, ask for comments, ask for kudos, not a problem. But like, don't say, oh, I wasn't really sure about this, or, you know, I know that this wasn't great in places, but, you know, don't get down on yourself, because that, you know, you want people to have confidence in you and in your writing and in your stories, so you want to big yourself up, or at least not show any weaknesses or any doubts. Not on a public forum like that, to your friends maybe, but yeah, on a public forum it just looks kind of like you're not sure of yourself, and that means that other people aren't going to be as sure of you, and, you know, they won't have as much confidence in your stuff. Okay. Hopefully the light in this isn't too bad. Okay, that's another thing. I'm doing it now, I'm beating myself up. Like, it's off-putting, even in a video, if you say, like, if you apologise for the state of your skin or your scratchy voice or the poor lighting, it means people aren't as confident in you. That's how it comes off to me anyway. I don't know if it's the same for everyone else. Is it the same for you? Also, okay, so if you have writing tips also, put them below. Do you think these were any good? Let me know. Hopefully I'll be making more videos in the future. From a new place! Because we're moving, like, this week. How exciting! Let me tell you, the thought of getting a sofa and a cat is all that's keeping me going right now. Have you ever seen such a professional tripod in your entire life?